really believe that that was one of God's greatest gifts to give me, Carl Dean.
It's a rare gift to find the love of your life. It's even more rare in the fraught world of Hollywood. Dolly Parton managed to find it in the most unlikely of places. The over-the-top country singer was wooed by a shy, private man on her first day in Nashville. Carl Dean and Dolly Parton kept up an almost 60-year love affair. It inspired some of Dolly's best songs. He supported her in private. He was so hidden that fans wondered if he even existed, but they complimented each other well. Keep watching as Dolly Parton breaks down announcing the death of her husband. How Dolly met Carl. Dolly met Carl when she was 18. She had just moved to Nashville and stepped into the wishy-washy laundromat to wash her clothes. It may not have been what you might call love at first sight for her, but there was definitely an immediate connection. As Dolly said, quote, "I was surprised and delighted that while he talked to me, he looked at my face, a rare thing for me. He seemed to be genuinely interested in finding out who I was and what I was about." She didn't go out with him that first day. She did welcome him to come to her house the next day because she was babysitting her nephew. Things moved fairly quickly after that. That was mainly because Carl had fallen in love at first sight. He said, quote, "My first thought was, I'm going to marry that girl. My second thought was, Lord, she's good looking." He was so smitten, he came over to the house every day that week. He took her to meet his parents on their first official date. The relationship progressed from there. Getting and staying married. Dolly and Carl were married May 30th, 1966. It was a small ceremony in Ringgold, Georgia. They chose the location because it was the only place they knew of where you could get a license and get married on the same day. They wanted to keep the marriage as secretive as possible because Dolly's record label feared how it would affect her career. That's why they had such a small ceremony with only her mother, the preacher, and his wife as witnesses. It was the first and last marriage for both of them. They renewed their vows in 2016. It was her chance to finally have a big ceremony with a white wedding dress. How did they manage to make it last so long? Dolly once jokingly said, quote, "I always joke and laugh when people ask me what's the key to my long marriage and lasting long. I always say, stay gone." The frequent traveling, unlike many other couples, brought them closer together. She was a famous touring singer, and he even had to be in the army while they were dating. It made them appreciate any time they did get to spend together more. Dolly and Carl also have different personalities, with one a vibrant cowgirl singer and the other a shy mechanic. In her opinion, that's what made the relationship fun. She said, quote, "I never know what he's going to say or do. He's always surprising me." Those surprises included small romantic gestures like picking wildflowers and giving them to her in a bouquet. Tuning out the tabloids. A woman as famous as Dolly Parton is going to get wrapped up in tabloid speculation about her marriage. She notes,
This world is built on greed and gossip. And, of course, people are going to talk. People want to talk. And I don't even mind what they say.
Carl's intense hold over his privacy and rare public appearances made it even worse. Rumors that he didn't even exist were only the beginning of their problems. There were speculations that the marriage was a cover-up for her relationship with her lifelong friend Judy Ogle. She's denied these claims vehemently. Judy is her best friend, and there's a deep form of love there, but only the type felt between best friends. She also denied ever having an affair with Burt Reynolds, her co-star in 1982's The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Dolly did admit that she and Carl both flirted with other people, but nothing more than that. She also had a devastating emotional affair of the heart with her bandleader. She says Carl was secure within himself and has never been jealous of her. She also added, quote, "We're not afraid that one of us is going to run off with somebody else because we couldn't find in nobody else what we found in each other." Working together and inspiring a classic song. The idea of worrying about Carl running off did inspire one of Dolly's most well-known songs, Jolene. A flirty bank teller once seemed a bit too interested in him. She says, quote, "She got this terrible crush on my husband, and he just loved going to the bank because she paid him so much attention. It was kind of like a running joke between us. When I was saying, hell, you're spending a lot of time at the bank. I don't believe we've got that kind of money." So it's really an innocent song all around, but it sounds like a dreadful one. Carl was also her muse in other ways. The song Just Because I'm a Woman was inspired by a discussion about Dolly's previous sexual history. Other songs that he reportedly inspired include From Here to the Moon and Back, Forever Love, Say Forever You'll Be Mine, Tomorrow is Forever. Despite being married to one of the biggest names in country music, he was a fan of the rock and roll genre. That inspired her to cover some of his favorite songs, such as Lynyrd Skynyrd's Freebird and Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. He also inspired Dolly's 2023 Rockstar album. It had major rock influences. She made sure to put one of his favorite songs she ever wrote, My Blue Tears, on it. Trying to maintain privacy. Carl was always supportive of his wife's career. He never wanted to interfere with it or force her to change her schedule at all. He also didn't want to be a part of the bright lights of the music business. He even hated the public events. As Dolly remembers,
I took him to my first award dinner. I had won an award, BMI award, for the Song of the Year. And my husband went with me, had rented a tuxedo, which I had him do. He was absolutely miserable. And on the way to the car from the dinner, he was taking off stuff. He said, we got in the car and he said, you know what, I want you to do really well. And I really do. And I don't mind what you do, but I ain't never going to more of them damn things. So don't even ask me. So I never have, and he never did.
Dolly and Carl took steps to let him maintain a private lifestyle. He didn't attend the premiere of 1980's 9 to 5, but chose to watch it on his own. When reporters would come by, he'd occasionally lie and say he was the gardener. Carl also wasn't made a visible part of Dolly's theme park, Dollywood. He wanted to be able to go there without being recognized, and that's what happened. Only a few photos of the couple ever got out. He was on the album cover of My Blue Ridge Mountain Boy and appeared occasionally on social media. He was so private, it's almost understandable that rumors he never existed began to surface. They had a love that lasted over 60 years. Dolly once said, "Carl is the one man in my life. I would love to grow old with him. If he should die first, I may never marry again. My love is that deep." Announcing Carl's death. Carl Dean died age 82, March 3, 2025. No official cause of death has been announced. He's survived by his two siblings, Sandra and Donnie. There was a private ceremony with only immediate family attending. Dolly released a statement saying, quote, "Carl and I spent many wonderful years together. Words can't do justice to the love we shared for over 60 years. Thank you for your prayers and sympathy." Writing a song in tribute. Writing songs is often the best way to get over tragedy, as Dolly says.
That's just what I do. It's my therapy, it's my job, it's my joy, and it's like a poet, you know, everything's a song to me. Anything that happens.
Dolly decided to give it a try after the loss of Carl. It's called If You Hadn't Been There. It looks back on their life together and hypothetically wonders what it would have been like if they hadn't met. The lyrics ask questions like, if you hadn't been there, well, who would I be? Then they assert, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. The tune celebrates the positive impact he had on her life. It's a sweet way to honor the memory of a man who not only was the love of her life, but her muse on so many projects. From fellow country legends Naomi Judd, Loretta Lynn, and Kenny Rogers to actor Leslie Jordan, within the last couple of years, the queen of country, Dolly Parton, has lost some of her closest friends to death. Join us as we discuss how Dolly has been dealing with this recent string of deaths in her circle. Facts First presents Dolly Parton Speaks Out After Losing Her Closest Friends. Naomi Judd. After struggling for many years with depression accompanied by panic attacks, anxiety, and intrusive suicidal thoughts, Judd committed suicide by firearm at the age of 76 on April 30th, 2022. It's also worth noting that Judd experienced further emotional distress before her passing, brought on by the side effects of a medication she was taking. It's been reported that the lithium she was prescribed for her depression produced a wide range of nasty side effects, such as facial edema, tremors, and alopecia. Following her death, Naomi's daughters, Ashley and Winona, turned to social media to express their grief. In one tweet sent out the day of Naomi's passing, the daughters revealed they had lost their mother to the disease of mental illness. Ashley eventually revealed the cause of her mother's death when she gave an interview with Good Morning America's Diane Sawyer on May 12, 2022. She made the revelation in the hopes of raising awareness of mental illness, so others suffering from it might be able to receive the help they need. Not long after Judd's death, Dolly took to Instagram to post a touching, albeit heartbreaking tribute to her old friend. Parton wrote she was shocked to hear about the singer's passing. She went on to share that she and Judd had been quite close and that they were very similar in a number of ways. For one thing, Dolly brought up that they were both Capricorns who were the same age. She wrote, "We loved big hair, makeup, and music." She went on to say she always loved Ashley, Winona, and Naomi like sisters. She then congratulated Naomi and her daughter Winona for the Judds' induction into the prestigious Country Music Hall of Fame. While she couldn't attend the induction ceremony, Dolly said she could still hear Naomi saying, "Oh well, a day late and a dolly short." Loretta Lynn. The world is still mourning the loss of country legend Loretta Lynn, who died in her sleep October 4th, 2022, at age 90. With a career spanning 6 decades, Lynn revolutionized the world of country music with the release of multiple gold albums and countless hit singles like Don't Come Home A-Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind, You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man, and Coal Miner's Daughter. In 1980, she was the subject of a film based on her life that was also called Coal Miner's Daughter. Throughout her time in the music industry, Lynn received many awards and accolades, including awards from the Academy of Country Music and the Country Music Association. She was also nominated 18 times for Grammys, winning 3. As of 2022, Lynn was the most awarded female country artist of all time. Additionally, she was the only female Academy of Country Music Artist of the decade. In 2017, she had put an abrupt end to her 57 years of touring after suffering a stroke. A year later, she broke her hip. Fortunately, when she finally passed in October, she did so in just about the most peaceful way you can. Over the years, Dolly and Lynn collaborated on several occasions. In 1993, they teamed up with Tammy Wynette for a collab album called Honky Tonk Angels. That project included songs like Wings of Dove and Silver Threads and Golden Needles. Lynn was also a guest on Parton's variety show, The Dolly Show, which aired on ABC from 1987 to 88. On that program, the two harmonized while singing a medley of several of Lynn's biggest hits. Much as she did after Naomi Judd's death, Dolly shared her thoughts on Lynn's passing on social media. On Instagram, she wrote that she was very sorry to hear about her friend Loretta's fate. She went on to say that she and Lynn had been like sisters during all the years they'd been together in Nashville. She then added that Loretta was a wonderful human being and wonderful talent who had millions of fans, among whom she was one. Kenny Rogers. Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers were more than just musical partners. They were close friends too. So naturally, after learning of Rogers' passing at age 81 on March 20th, 2020, in a hospice in Sandy Springs, Georgia, Parton was devastated. They met while she was performing on her variety show in 1976. The two immediately hit it off, and not long after the show aired, Parton says they became buddies. Dolly was already familiar with Rogers before they met because he was a member of the rock band First Edition before embarking on his solo country career. Parton and Rogers continued to develop their special friendship that endured for decades. In her book Songteller, Parton said she loved Rogers and that they were kindred spirits. She further noted that she and Rogers often laughed together and that she especially appreciated hearing Rogers sing. Although the media often speculated the two were romantically involved, Parton repeatedly denied that their relationship was anything but platonic. She was even once quoted as saying they loved each other like brother and sister. Following his death, Parton commented she felt like a chunk of her heart went with Rogers. She also said that hers felt broken. While Parton deeply misses Rogers, she says she's found comfort knowing he's in a better place. In Songteller, she expressed her belief that Rogers is currently talking to God about spreading light in the darkness seen throughout the world today. She ended her heartfelt tribute to Rogers, telling him to fly high into the loving arms of the divine. Leslie Jordan. Despite standing at just 4'11", this actor, comedian, writer, and singer stood tall in the eyes of Dolly Parton, who counted him as one of her closest friends. Jordan was best known for his roles in TV series like Will and Grace, American Horror Story, The Cool Kids, and Hearts of Fire. Aside from his screen roles, he also had a lifelong love for theater. Most notably, he played Earl Brother Boy Ingram in the 1996 play Sordid Lives. He later portrayed that character in the 2000 film adaptation. In 2021, Jordan's autobiography, How Y'all Doing? Misadventures and Mischief from a Life Well Lived, was published. The same year, he released a gospel music album titled Company's Comin'. Tragically, on the morning of October 24th, 2022, while en route to film scenes on the set of Call Me Kat, his car collided with the side of a building at the corner of Cahuenga and Romaine Street in Hollywood. It's believed he experienced some kind of medical episode that led to the accident. He was sadly pronounced dead at the scene at age 67. After learning of her friend's untimely death, Parton posted on social media that she was in shock and deeply saddened. She further expressed she felt like she'd lost a family member. She went on to acknowledge that in the case of most stars' deaths, there's always a flood of people who come out and say they'll be missed. But in Jordan's case, she says that couldn't be more true. She wrote that he'd be missed by everyone who knew him personally and by everyone entertained by him. How Dolly copes. After experiencing all of those back-to-back deaths, the sting of loss is obviously quite fresh for Dolly. Talking to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show in early December of 2022, Parton revealed she's relied on happy memories of Lynn and Judd to navigate the otherwise painful grieving process. Touching on the loss of her friends Loretta Lynn, Naomi Judd, and Kenny Rogers, Parton said she had been making it a point to look back on the good memories they made together while also thinking about all of the similarities they shared with each other. She said she grieves over them just like she would for a flesh and blood family member. Dolly further said one song in particular, Alan Jackson's Precious Memories, reminds her of her fallen friends. In that song, one lyric stands out: "Precious memories, unseen angels sent from somewhere to my soul." She explained that those precious memories flow in and out of her as she remembers special things about them. She added that the lingering presence of these memories feels like those unseen angels that Jackson sang about, and it almost feels like her friends are still around with her. Dolly is one of the strongest women alive. She wouldn't have been able to accomplish all that she has otherwise. That being said, she's only human. She has to deal with the pain and heartache that goes along with losing those closest to her. Dolly Parton is mourning the death of her youngest brother, Randy Parton. Randy died at the age of 67 after a long battle with cancer, which was revealed by his legendary sister on her Facebook page. To summarize Dolly's post, she announced that she and her entire family are grieving Randy's loss, but they know he's in a better place. She added their family is made of faith, and they believe her younger brother is not only safe with God, but also joined by their other lost family members. In today's video, we're going to revisit Randy Parton's career and what he was doing prior to his passing. Then we'll take a look at the rest of the Parton family. Dolly is, of course, the most famous of the family, but you may be surprised to learn about how many other members of the Parton family have a worthy claim to fame. Who is Randy Parton? Randy Parton was a country music singer and songwriter who's best known to the media and public for being the youngest brother of Dolly Parton. Randy is the 8th of 12 children to Robert and Avie Parton. Both Randy and Dolly Parton, alongside their 10 siblings, were raised in their native Sevierville, Tennessee. Randy grew up listening to many country singers who later influenced him to enter the industry. The Parton siblings occasionally practiced music together and wrote songs during their teenage years throughout the 60s and 70s. Randy began his music career in the late 70s, shortly after his high school graduation. His first major record was the song Roll On 18-Wheelers from 1982. A few months later, in early '84, the song was recorded by the band Alabama and became an international chart topper. Before that, in 1978 and '81, Randy recorded and released his first 2 studio projects, the LPs There Was a Dream and Shots Full of Love. A decade before he founded his own self-titled record label, Randy worked with the already established labels Meteor and Electric Records as one of the label's most valuable singers. Over the course of his prosperous music career, Randy recorded and released songs such as Tennessee Born, Lose Everything, and Down that helped him achieve notice in his early days. During the 80s, his career in the music industry boomed thanks to his well-liked studio albums and singles. Among some of his best songs are Don't Cry Baby, Roll On 18-Wheeler, and A Stranger in Her Bed. Starting in the new millennium, the country artist ventured into acting. He made his acting debut in the musical comedy Rhinestone, where he worked with his sister Dolly and Sylvester Stallone. He then appeared as a musical guest on Dolly's television show, as well as various television series and talk shows. During most of his acting career, Randy spent his time working in the theater. In 2007, he even signed a deal that brought him $1.5 million every year to both perform in and manage a theater bearing his name in Carolina Crossroads. His name was also given to the local theater based in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, where he performed during his early acting ventures. Dolly and Randy's relationship. Dolly loved her younger brother Randy, and she had the opportunity to work with him on many occasions, whether it was on music or television projects. The two have created many hits together that can be heard on both film and TV productions. Over the past few years, Dolly has continuously praised her brother's incredible musical talents, which include playing bass and guitar, songwriting, and singing. The two shared a passion for country music ever since their childhood days and have written hundreds of songs together. The first official song they created and recorded was Holding On to You from 1977, which is one of the lead singles in Dolly's 18th studio album, New Harvest, First Gathering. Throughout the 80s and 90s, they also collaborated on 4 other songs, with the most notable being The Old Flames Can't Hold Candles to You and Tennessee Homesick Blue, both of which Dolly released as lead singles from her acclaimed studio albums. Prior to his recent passing, the brother-sister musical duo released their final duet, You Are My Christmas, included in Dolly's 47th studio album. Apart from the highly praised music they created, which can now be heard in films and series such as Rhinestone, The Queens of Country, and Dolly, Dolly and Randy Parton also worked on Dolly's many television series, specials, and documentaries. Dolly, Dollywood, and Dolly Parton's Most Precious Memories. In addition to revealing the news of her brother's death and the mourning of her family, Dolly also wrote a lot about Randy's career and the talent he shared over the last several decades. She wrote her brother had several records on his own, and the one that will always stand out is their duet, Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You. Lastly, in her long and heartwarming post on Facebook, Dolly wrote about the duet with her brother, You Are My Christmas. She ended her post with a special message to her sister-in-law Deborah and her nephews Sabin and Heidi by stating that Randy is shining in a better place now. The other Parton siblings. Randy and Dolly Parton share 10 other siblings: Bobby Lee, Cassie Nan, Coy Denver, David Wilburn, Floyd Estelle, Larry Gerald, Stella Mae, and the twins Rachel Ann and Frida Estelle. According to sources from the Country Living website, her brother Larry passed away just a few days after he was born in 1955, and her brother Floyd died at the age of 61 in 2018. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse for more. And stick around for more info on the Parton family. Thanks to Dolly and her incredibly talented siblings, the Parton family is one seriously gifted line. When the family was young, though, they lived through hard times like World War II and the Great Depression. The one thing that kept them together and inspired them was their shared passion for music. And they owed this love for music to their mother. Avie inspired and encouraged not only Dolly and Randy Parton, but all of her children to sing at home. This was confirmed during a 1982 interview of Dolly's sister Rachel, who said to People magazine that singing is like breathing at their home. Let's take a look at what the rest of the Parton siblings are up to. Stella Parton. Stella is one of the sisters who delved into acting and singing. She started her singing debut in 1967 and broke through with her worldwide hit, I Wanna Hold You in My Dreams Tonight. Over the course of her career, she's released 23 studio albums and over 25 singles. Even now, at the age of 71, Stella Parton continues to sing and star in both film and TV projects. Cassie and Frida Parton. Currently, Cassie is 69 and Frida is 63. Both are also talented singers who have performed on The Dollywood Show in 2013 alongside their now late brother Randy. According to the Knoxville News-Sentinel, Frida no longer works in the music industry. In the 80s, she was part of a punk band and occasionally sang as a backup vocalist for Dolly. Now she's working as an ordained minister who even has her own wedding chapel based in Sevierville. Rachel Parton Dennison. Like her older sister, Rachel is also a TV superstar who has worked for many projects. Her most notable performance was in the ABC sitcom From 9 to 5, which aired from 1982 to 88. In addition to that, Rachel sang in Honey Creek and performed on many occasions with her sister. Most recently, alongside Stella and Dolly, the country music legend performed at the Red Tent Women's Conference. Willa Dean Parton. The oldest Parton child, Willa Dean, is 80. Unlike most of her other siblings, she didn't pursue a career in the entertainment industry and focused her attention on writing. One of her best-selling works is the family memoir Smoky Mountain Memories from 1996, which was followed up by her cookbook All Day Singing and Dinner on the Ground. Coy, David, and Robert Lee Parton. None of these three brothers worked in show business. There's not much information available for them as they tend to keep their personal and professional lives private.
Music royalty is filled with legendary pairings. John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel, Daryl Hall and John Oates, and of course, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. There's something undeniably electric about their on-stage appearances. Watch them perform together, and it's clear that they not only truly love what they do, but they genuinely adore each other. Their successful friendship and musical partnership has led to some memorable and enduring classics, and their combined stardom lit up the country music world for decades. Parton and Rogers' obvious chemistry led to persistent rumors that they were romantically involved, but Parton has been wed to her beloved husband Carl since 1966, and Rogers married 5 different women in his 81 years. Rogers commented on his inability to stay committed to one woman in a 2012 interview with Anderson Cooper, saying,
I don't think I hurt anybody. I don't think I was fair to them.
Both Rogers and Parton had to answer questions about their relationship many times since they first met, and went on the record repeatedly to talk about it. And while it's hard for us now to even imagine a world before Kenny and Dolly, she was already a well-established star and he was a rising talent when they first met. That first encounter came when he appeared on her television show Dolly in 1976. Rogers admitted that he and Parton didn't necessarily hit it off right away, telling The Atlantic, "I would like to say that we became immediate friends, but we didn't. I was just another guest in the mix of her very busy schedule." Fast forward to 1983 when the Bee Gees, Barry, Robin, and Morris Gibb brought a song they had written to Rogers, who couldn't quite make it work on his own. He told Taste of Country in 2013,
And I finally said, Barry, I don't even like this song anymore. And he said, we need Dolly Parton.
Ken Cragen, who was at the time both Rogers and the Bee Gees' manager, said he had seen her in the studio offices, and Rogers told him,
I said, well, go get her. And Dolly, in her inimitable fashion, marched into the room, and the song was never the same.
The rest, as they say, is music history. Rogers later wrote in his memoir, "I've lived through earthquakes in California, twisters in Kansas, and hurricanes in Georgia, but nothing prepared me for working with Dolly." Islands of the Stream was released in 1983. Kenny and Dolly went on tour together, did a Christmas album and special, and recorded more duets. All the while, their undeniable chemistry kept rumors flowing about whether they were just friends or something more. But knowing more about their common experiences growing up definitely explains why they became so close so quickly as adults. Parton was one of 12 children and grew up in the Tennessee mountains. Money was always scarce for the Partons, but young Dolly discovered her love of music in church. She was given a guitar as a gift, and with her incredible talent, there was no looking back. Rogers was one of 7 children and spent his early years living in a federal housing project in Houston, Texas. It was up to Kenny to buy himself his first guitar, which he finally was able to do in high school. Parton got an earlier start. She was just 10 years old when she started performing on local TV and radio stations, and appeared alongside her uncle Bill Owens at the Grand Ole Opry when she was just 13. She told A&E's biography that neither she nor Rogers had forgotten where they came from, and their common upbringing brought them closer.
He, like me, was brought up very poor. We understood that world and how much we wanted things.
Despite the fact that Parton had been happily married for the entire time she's known Rogers, she has constantly faced questions about their relationship. She always insisted that they were good friends, and even noted that their friendship extended to their respective touring groups. She told People in 2013, "We'd eat, hang out, and we found we really liked each other. It was a wonderful group of people. My band members, his band members, everybody was like family. Kenny was always like a relative to me." Rogers certainly felt the temptation, but told HuffPost Live host Mark Lamont Hill that any lingering tension only added life to their friendship.
We just teased each other, and we flirted with each other for 30 years.
He went on to say that Parton was truly one of the most valued people in his life, and someone with whom he felt an enduring and unbreakable connection. Given how close they were as friends and how much they enjoyed working together, Rogers didn't want to disrupt that for a shot at romance. He told People, "We may have been tempted, but we didn't want to ruin a good friendship. I think it would have." Parton agreed, saying that they had both seen too many friendships ruined by going to the next step. "We never did go there. There was always so much other stuff going for us, so much love and friendship." Rogers always acknowledged that Parton was already married and had been for a long time when they first met. As for any possibility that she might stray in his direction, she said, "He's been married about 40 times. I couldn't catch him between wives." The pair even joked about the idea on the Today Show. Rogers claimed, "First of all, she's hard to look at for me." Parton responded that she wasn't Rogers' type, to which he countered, "I'm a believer that tension is better if you keep it than if you satisfy it." And then secondly, she said no to me. But Parton set the record straight, saying that they were too close to get together in that way. "You know what, we were almost like brother and sister, so we just never went there." The bottom line, they just meant too much to each other to jeopardize their friendship, marriages, and professional success. If anyone would have had a right to be jealous of Dolly and Kenny's friendship, it would have been their spouses. Rogers was married to Mary Ann Gordon from 1977 until 1993, when he and Parton were recording their biggest hits and touring together. But Gordon told Closer Weekly that she never worried about her husband having an affair with Parton, saying, "I never felt uncomfortable at all. I just knew him so well." She admits their divorce was difficult, but insists Parton had nothing to do with it, blaming it on Rogers' simultaneous midlife and career crises. Apparently, at that time, Rogers was even having nightmares where he came out on stage only to find an empty theater, and he genuinely feared the end of his career had come. But she remains fond of their time together, saying, "He was so sweet. I always felt his total focus was on me." Even country music legends like Dolly Parton have had celebrity crushes. In an interview with The Big Crush, she confessed to having pined for another Tennessee music megastar long before she was famous herself. Parton met Johnny Cash when she was first starting out in the music business, and to the wide-eyed 13-year-old, he was nothing short of magical. She told The Big Issue, "Johnny was all strung out on drugs and everything, but he was so magnetic, so sexy. He was my first male grown-up crush. He just really moved me. He always got a kick out of that." While Cash found it hilarious that he'd been Parton's first love, she was more fortunate in her first meeting with Rogers, telling biography, "You never really know when you're going to run across somebody that's just going to be partners for life." Parton and Rogers have spoken candidly about their feelings for each other, and it's pretty adorable stuff. Parton told Country Fancast in 2017 just how close they were, saying, "Kenny's friendship means more to me than our hit records. Actually, we're kind of soulmates." She used the same word again to describe her relationship with Rogers in the intro to the You Can't Make Old Friends video. She thought the song summed up their relationship perfectly, telling Pop Matters, "That song was very emotional because of our relationship and the fact that we're both older, and when we were talking about when St. Peter knocks on the door and you come walking in, it makes you think." Songwriter Don Schlitz, who also wrote Rogers' biggest hit, The Gambler, said penning the song was one of the high points of his career, saying, "It's a great honor to be a part of that." Like any other close friends, Kenny and Dolly have had some awkward moments. Parton has always refused to come right out and say just what her political stance is. She usually deflects questions with a joke, or just says outright that she has too many fans from all walks of life to alienate anyone by coming down on one side of the fence or the other. She told WJHL in Johnson City, Tennessee in 2018.
You'll find me and my opinions, in a lot of the songs, but most of it's based on love and acceptance and lifting people up.
On the other hand, Rogers made it clear that he was a Donald Trump supporter. He told The Guardian in 2015, "I really like him. I think his problem is that he says what everyone wants to hear, but he doesn't say it well. I love what he says, I have to admit." Still, it was pretty surprising when Rogers compared Parton to Trump during one of his shows, saying, "She has no filter. If it goes in her mind, it comes out of her mouth, and that's what makes her special. She's become the Donald Trump of country music." She addressed the comparison in an interview with Rolling Stone in her typical disarming way, saying, "Me and Donald kind of have the same hair. You could have meant that, too." Parton didn't let that one awkward comment disrupt their amazing friendship and has never been shy about letting Rogers know how much he meant to her. Rogers told Southern Living that during the recording sessions for You Can't Make Old Friends, he noticed she had left her booth. "She came into my part of the studio and she put her arms around my neck and said, 'Kenny, I think you should know I could never sing at your funeral.' I love her. I love her for that. You never know what she's going to say, but it always comes from love." That love came out in each and every one of the Powerhouse duo's performances, and it continued to shine right through their very last time on stage together. Rogers officially retired in 2018, citing health reasons. His final performance came in a star-studded tribute special called Kenny Rogers All In for the Gambler, which was filmed in 2017 and aired in June of 2021, more than a year after his death. Parton joined him for several songs, and the duo wrapped up the show with a smash hit that started it all, Islands in the Stream. The concert was full of touching moments, like Parton's performance of I Will Always Love You, which she led off by telling Rogers, "I have a spot in my heart for you that's never ever going to be touched by anybody else." Rogers told Closer Weekly that the show was a farewell gift from his old friend, who wasn't going to let him disappear without a celebration. Rogers was grateful, saying, "You either have old friends or you don't, and I've always had a friend in Dolly."
Dolly Parton, known for her hit 9 to 5, has always connected with the hard-working spirit of people everywhere. Yet behind her iconic performances and radiant smile, there was a profoundly personal battle that she somehow managed to keep out of the spotlight. Facts First presents Dolly Parton tried to keep her disease a secret, now we know. The Reigning Queen. The story of Dolly Rebecca Parton, from her humble beginnings in a one-room cabin in Tennessee to becoming a global icon, is a remarkable tale of talent, perseverance, and compassion. Born January 19, 1946 as the fourth of 12 children, Parton's early life was steeped in music and storytelling. The melodies and tales of her Appalachian upbringing, along with her mother's profound influence, were the cradle for her burgeoning talents. Even as a young girl, Parton's musical gifts were evident. By her early teens, she had already become a local sensation in East Tennessee, gracing radio and television with her presence. Her debut album, Hello, I'm Dolly, released in 1967, was a doorway to a storied career in country music. And her charm and talent extended to the silver screen. Her roles in movies like 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias not only garnered critical acclaim, but also expanded her fan base beyond country music enthusiasts. Her impact on the entertainment industry is profound, with over 100 million records sold worldwide. Songs like I Will Always Love You, Jolene, and 9 to 5 are etched into the annals of music history. Her collection of accolades, including numerous Grammy Awards, Country Music Association Awards, and a spot in the Country Music Hall of Fame, is a testament to her extraordinary talent and influence. Her contributions extend far beyond music and acting. She's also a shrewd businesswoman and a heart-driven philanthropist. As co-owner of the Dollywood company, she oversees a range of entertainment ventures, including the famous Dollywood theme park. But it's her philanthropic endeavors, particularly through the Dollywood Foundation, that showcase her deep commitment to societal betterment. Her initiatives in education and poverty alleviation in East Tennessee are a reflection of her dedication to her roots and the community that shaped her. Her philanthropy is not just about financial support, it's deeply personal, especially considering her own health battles. Battle with endometriosis. During the 1980s, Dolly Parton was facing a personal health challenge that was largely unknown to her fans. She was diagnosed with endometriosis, a complex and often painful condition where tissue similar to the lining of the uterus, endometrium, starts growing outside the uterus. This aberrant tissue growth can occur on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, and in the pelvic cavity, causing a range of symptoms. For many, like Parton, endometriosis results in severe pelvic pain, especially during menstruation. The pain can be debilitating, often described as sharp, gnawing, or throbbing, and can radiate to the lower back and abdomen. In Parton's case, the severity of her endometriosis led to the decision to undergo a partial hysterectomy in 1984. This major surgical procedure involves removing part of the uterus and, in some cases, other affected areas. While this surgery often provides relief from the physical symptoms of endometriosis, it can carry significant emotional implications, particularly regarding fertility. For a performer like Parton, battling endometriosis would have presented unique challenges. The physical symptoms could have made the demands of touring and performing quite difficult. The condition could have affected her energy levels, her ability to engage in rigorous rehearsal schedules, and endure long hours on stage. And the emotional toll of dealing with a chronic health condition, coupled with the stress of a public life, likely added to the complexity of managing her health and career simultaneously. Despite these challenges, Parton continued to inspire and connect with her audience. Her ability to channel her personal struggles into her art added a layer of depth and authenticity to her work, making her an even more compelling and admired figure among her fans. She never had kids. The impact of endometriosis on Dolly's life extended beyond the physical pain and medical treatment. It deeply influenced her personal life. The partial hysterectomy, a result of her battle with endometriosis, meant she would not be able to conceive children. This realization brought about a profound shift in her life, marking a moment of personal reckoning and a reassessment of her future. Confronting this reality, Parton experienced a profound sense of loss. The idea of not experiencing motherhood was a difficult one to grapple with, especially given the nurturing aspects of her personality. She has since spoken candidly about this period in her life, discussing the emotional challenges and the sense of premature aging she felt upon learning she could not have children. This experience led to a period of deep depression, a struggle she faced while maintaining her public persona and continuing her career. However, in the midst of this personal crisis, Parton found ways to express her nurturing instincts. She became a beloved figure in the lives of her nieces and nephews, taking on the affectionate moniker Aunt Granny. This role offered her a unique way to experience and express her maternal feelings, allowing her to form deep and meaningful connections with younger members of her family. Her ability to find alternative avenues for her nurturing nature demonstrates her resilience and adaptability. Fans feared the worst. In a later chapter of her life, Dolly experienced a health scare that sparked widespread concern. The rumor mill churned with speculation that she was grappling with stomach cancer, a notion that understandably alarmed her fan base. Addressing these concerns head-on, Parton showcased her signature directness and transparency. She clarified that her health issue was related to kidney stones, not cancer. This condition, while not as severe as cancer, still required surgical intervention. Parton's forthrightness in sharing the details of her health situation was a source of comfort to her fans. Her ability to openly discuss such personal matters and her quick reassurance that she was recovering well exemplified her resilience. Dolly put her career on hold for her husband. At age 77, Dolly took a step that few in her position would consider. She paused her dazzling career to become a full-time caregiver for her husband, Carl Dean, in his battle with Alzheimer's disease. Married for almost 6 decades, the couple's relationship has been a cornerstone of Parton's life, with Dean consistently supporting her career while preferring to remain out of the spotlight. Dean's diagnosis of Alzheimer's around 2019 was a pivotal moment for Parton, necessitating a profound shift in her life priorities. Her decision to put her career on hold to care for him is a reflection of the depth of her character and the strength of their bond. This move, though challenging, illustrates her deep commitment to family and personal relationships, showcasing a side of Parton that goes beyond her public persona as a performer. Their marriage, though private, has been an integral part of Parton's journey. Dean's unwavering support for her career over the years, coupled with his own health struggles, has seen Parton by his side with grace and resilience. Their enduring love, navigating both triumphs and tribulations, speaks to the strength of their partnership. Parton's decision to care for her husband in the face of his illness is not just a personal choice. It's a powerful statement about her values and the sacrifices one makes for love. Despite her remarkable career and enduring legacy, one distinctive aspect of her life that often stands out is her decision to remain without children. While she has achieved unparalleled success in music and philanthropy, her choice to forego motherhood has sparked curiosity and speculation. Join us as we present, at 77 years old, Dolly Parton confirms why she never had children. Speculation. There's been speculation over the years as to why Dolly and her husband Carl never had kids. While she's been open about her reasons, there have been many speculations and assumptions about why she made the choice. Here are some possible explanations people have thought. Career dedication. Dolly has often cited her dedication to her career as one of the primary reasons for not having children. She began her career at a young age and worked tirelessly to achieve success in the entertainment industry. There is speculation that she believed having children would have limited her ability to tour, record, and maintain her busy schedule. Fear of passing on poverty. Dolly grew up in a financially disadvantaged family in rural Tennessee. She's mentioned that her family struggled with poverty, so it's possible that, especially early on, she was concerned about passing on a similar financial hardship to her own children. As a result, she might have chosen to focus on her career and financial stability instead. Personal sacrifices. Raising children often involves making huge personal sacrifices, and there's a thought that Dolly might have chosen not to have children to maintain her independence and personal freedom. Being a mother can be all-consuming, and she may have wanted to prioritize her own aspirations and ambitions. Health concerns. Some speculations have arisen regarding Dolly Parton's health and the potential impact on her ability to have children. While she's been open about undergoing cosmetic surgery, she has not publicly discussed any specific health issues that might have influenced her decision. Marriage and family dynamics. Dolly has been married to Carl Dean since 1966, and the couple has maintained a relatively private personal life. While some have speculated that marital issues or differing opinions on parenthood could be factors, there's no concrete evidence to support it. It's important to note Dolly has never expressed regret or sadness about her decision not to have children. She's always been a fiercely independent and determined artist, using her creativity and talent to inspire millions around the world. She's often referred to herself as Aunt Dolly and has played a significant role in the lives of her nieces and nephews, as well as countless children through her philanthropic efforts. Dolly's take. Dolly Parton has been candid about her decision not to have children in various interviews and discussions over the years. She's offered insights into her reasoning and how she feels about the choice. Here are some of her notable statements. One of the primary reasons she has cited for not having children is her unwavering dedication to her career, which is what many fans speculated. She's often emphasized her passion for music and her desire to make it to the top of the entertainment industry. In interviews, she said that she didn't want to divide her attention between motherhood and her career, fearing that it might hinder her success. Dolly has spoken about the importance of her independence and personal freedom. She's expressed a desire to live life on her terms and maintain control over her own destiny. Becoming a mother with its associated responsibilities and obligations might have limited the freedom she values so dearly. As we said, she refers to herself as Aunt Dolly and has explained that she takes on a maternal role with all her nieces and nephews. She enjoys spending time with them and being a positive influence in their lives. Her role as an aunt allows her to have a connection with children without the full-time commitment of motherhood. Dolly's maternal instincts extend beyond her family, and she's dedicated herself to various philanthropic efforts focused on children's welfare and education. She's established programs like the Imagination Library, which provides books to children in need, as well as the My People Fund, which supported families affected by wildfires in her hometown of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Throughout her career, she's been open about her choices and has used her life story as a source of inspiration for others. She's encouraged people to pursue their dreams regardless of societal expectations or norms. Dolly has demonstrated that there's no one-size-fits-all path to happiness and fulfillment, and her career and philanthropic efforts have left an indelible mark on the world, regardless of her decision not to have children. She's also recently expressed that she feels like there are divine reasons why she never had kids. She said recently, quote, "I didn't have children because I believed God didn't mean for me to have kids so everybody's kids could be mine, so I could do things like Imagination Library." She added, quote, "If I hadn't had the freedom to work, I wouldn't have done all the things I've done. I wouldn't be in a position to do all the things I'm doing now." Dolly and Miley. Dolly Parton's role as Miley Cyrus's godmother is a well-known and cherished aspect of their relationship. The connection between Dolly and Miley goes beyond mere family or mentorship. It's a deep and meaningful bond that has had a significant impact on both of their lives. Dolly became Miley's godmother due to her close friendship with Miley's father, country singer Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray and Dolly have had a long-standing friendship in the music industry, and they share a mutual respect for each other's talents. When Miley was born in 1992, Billy Ray asked Dolly to be Miley's godmother, and she gladly accepted the role. Dolly has been a guiding influence and a source of wisdom for Miley throughout her career. She's offered advice, support, and encouragement as Miley navigated the challenges and opportunities that come with growing up in the public eye. Dolly's own experiences in the entertainment industry have been invaluable to Miley as she embarked on her own music and acting career. The godmother-goddaughter relationship between Dolly and Miley is not just symbolic, it's also marked by a strong emotional connection. They've spoken openly about their affection for each other and their shared love of music. Dolly has praised Miley's talent and versatility as an artist, while Miley has expressed deep admiration and gratitude for Dolly's influence on her life and career. One of the most notable collaborations between Dolly and Miley Cyrus is their rendition of the classic song Jolene. They performed a stunning duet of the song on various occasions, showcasing their vocal prowess and the special bond they share. Dolly and the kids. In addition to Imagination Library and the My People Fund, Dolly has been a part of many other philanthropic associations that deal with children. This also includes Chasing Rainbows Museum. She has a museum dedicated to her life and career called Chasing Rainbows at Dollywood, her theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It not only celebrates her journey, but also inspires young visitors with her story of determination and success. Children's hospitals and charities. She's been a supporter of children's hospitals and charities throughout her career. Her work with children reflects her genuine compassion and dedication to making the world a better place for the next generation. In this video, we delve into Dolly's unique and somewhat surprising vision of her final curtain call, a story that's inspiring and fascinating. We'll illuminate how this country music legend wishes to depart from this world when the time arrives. Join us as Dolly Parton announces the strange way she hopes to die. Dolly's thoughts on death. In a recent interview with Billboard, Dolly Parton shed light on her thoughts about life, work, and even her mortality. She explained her view in a way that was markedly frank and meshed well with her unique brand of humor. Quote, "I'm not one to sit around doing nothing. I would never retire. I'll hopefully drop dead in the middle of a song on stage someday, and hopefully one I've written." The way Parton sees it, she doesn't want her final curtain call to be away from the stage. She'd rather it come while she's doing what she loves, singing her heart out to an audience. Parton understands that the timing and circumstances of our departure from this world are largely out of our hands. But if given a choice, she'd prefer to exit on a high note, quite literally. Dolly Parton also confirmed that her tour days are behind her. She admitted, quote, "I think those days are pretty much behind me because I have so many things I'm involved in." At her age, she values her time and wants to spend it wisely. Touring requires a lot of commitment, and she's now focusing on other things that matter to her. Nevertheless, she reassured fans she isn't completely stepping away from performing. We can still expect to see special performances from this country music legend.
This video is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. After an accident or an injury, you might feel like you're stranded on an uncharted desert isle. Luckily, Morgan & Morgan is prepared to be your legal Gilligan, guiding you through the rough seas of personal injury law. They'll fight harder to make you whole than Rocky fights in the ring. And with Morgan & Morgan in your corner, there's no need for countless visits to law offices or lengthy consultations. You can do everything right from your phone like you're George Jetson. In case of a car accident, your first recourse should be hiring an attorney. But you don't want to hire the Brady Bunch. You want a Perry Mason fighting for your rights. So if you're ever injured in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. You can submit a claim in 8 clicks or less without having to leave your couch. For more information, go to forthepeople.com or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone.
Shifting gears. It's true, Dolly's made it official that her days of full-scale touring are done. While the thought of never embarking on a full-blown tour might seem a little disheartening, fans can take comfort in her reassurance. Dolly has promised to continue gracing the stage for special concerts, maybe a long weekend of shows here and there, or a few performances at a festival. So the fervor and spirit of Dolly Parton on stage certainly won't stop. During the same interview, the 9 to 5 singer candidly admitted her preference for staying close to home with her husband, Carl Dean. The long weeks spent on traditional tours are behind her as she values spending time with her family and being readily available if needed. Even though her last major tour took place in 2016, Dolly has maintained an active presence in the music scene. But her priorities have shifted over time. While she's always put her career first, she admits that if something were to happen to her husband, she would pull back. She'd find a way to balance her work while being there for her family. An indication of her retirement from extensive touring came in early 2022 when Parton permanently parked her tour bus at the Dollywood Dreammore Resort and Spa. The bus, now known as Suite 1986, is available to guests for bookings, with the proceeds going towards the Dollywood Foundation and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. This move clearly symbolizes her transition away from the road, but doesn't mark the end of her musical journey. Dolly's upcoming album. Even as she transitions away from full-scale touring, Dolly has proven that she's far from slowing down when it comes to creating new music. The upcoming release of her 49th solo studio album, Rockstar, scheduled for November 17, 2023, stands as evidence of her enduring passion and musical versatility. Rockstar marks Parton's first venture into the rock genre. The album is notable for being a unique collaboration with a host of famous rock musicians. What initially sparked the project was Parton's nomination for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. While she initially declined the honor, citing her roots in country music, she later decided to explore the rock genre with a collection of covers to justify her place in the Hall of Fame. Throughout the making of the album, Parton engaged in collaborations with several musicians, some of whom she performed with at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Among these are Pat Benatar, Neil Giraldo, Simon Le Bon, Rob Halford, Pink, Brandi Carlile, and Sheryl Crow. Dolly's got big plans. Dolly's passion for her career is legendary. The 77-year-old icon reiterated her position during a recent Greatest Hits radio interview that she would never choose to retire, as she's just not one to sit idle. Still, she concedes there are a few conditions that could prompt her to pump the brakes. In that interview, she stated, quote, "As long as I'm able to work, as long as my health is good and my husband is good, the only way that I would ever slow down or stop would be for that reason. But until such a time comes, she's determined to make hay while the sun shines." Parton's vibrant spirit and untiring energy have her constantly chasing new dreams. She's recently revealed aspirations of having her own network TV show, allowing her to share the unseen aspects of her life and roots, providing fans with a deeper understanding of her journey. Beyond TV, Dolly also has plans to launch her own line of makeup, wigs, and clothes, furthering her influence beyond the music industry. It's clear that while Dolly might have parked her tour bus for good, her heart remains as engaged with her fans and her work as ever. In addition to her new rock album, Rockstar, and book Behind the Seams, My Life in Rhinestones, set for a fall 2023 release, Dolly stays busy. From hosting holiday specials to collaborating with her goddaughter Miley Cyrus on New Year's Eve, Dolly continues to shine in the spotlight. Her tenacious zeal shows no signs of waning, reminding us that while she might have retired from full-scale touring, Dolly Parton isn't going anywhere anytime soon. She's only human. Dolly Parton's vibrant spirit, infectious laughter, and kind heart have always been her signature attributes. But she's also known for her resilience, her ability to bounce back from embarrassing mistakes with grace, and her readiness to face them head-on. Even when she trips up, she never lets it get her down. Instead, she uses it as an opportunity to show her fans that it's all right to err. The most important thing is to keep moving forward with your head held high. Take, for instance, the incident at the 2022 Academy of Country Music Awards. Parton was performing with Kelsea Ballerini, whom she accidentally referred to as Kelly. This small blunder left fans both amused and surprised. But Dolly didn't let the gaffe overshadow the evening. Instead, the performances by Parton, Ballerini, and Kelly Clarkson were still a roaring success. This incident proved once again that even if Parton stumbles, she swiftly recovers and carries on. Similarly, in 1978, during one of the most significant moments of her career, she encountered a rather embarrassing situation. She had just won the title of Entertainer of the Year, and as she was about to accept the award, the dress she had specially made for the occasion suddenly tore at the front. Her quick thinking, however, saved her from embarrassment. Seated next to Kenny Rogers' wife, Dolly grabbed her first stole and used it to cover herself up. Dolly handled this wardrobe malfunction with elegance and humor, even making the audience laugh during her acceptance speech. This incident highlights that Dolly Parton, while a global superstar, is just as human as the rest of us and can make mistakes. But she never lets these blunders consume her or slow her down. When they happen, she acknowledges them, laughs them off, and keeps moving forward, setting a great example for her fans worldwide. It's this very quality that's made her one of the most enduring and loved figures in the music industry. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your favorite Dolly Parton moments? Have you ever learned a life lesson from one of her songs, or perhaps a great quote? Are you surprised that she's coming out with a rock album? Let us know in the comments section below.